Hey guys, welcome to CG Cowboy. I'm Dale Forbes, creator of Angels Cove, which is due out on Steam this fall 2021. Now I don't have the store set up. I'm still waiting for verification from Steam, but hopefully it'll be out there soon. Keep an eye out for it. Now Angels Cove is a story-based horror adventure game where you're exploring 3D worlds and a story unfolds. So more to come on that. In the meantime, I wanted to cover off something that I have to go through fairly often. Now I create a certain number of assets myself in Blender for Angels Cove, but then of course I get other assets from other sources, including Unity Asset Store, Sketchfab, CG Trader, whatever, right? Wherever you get your assets. And once in a while you want to change those. Maybe they're too clean, like in my case there was kind of a grungy type of look and feel, so I wanted to dirty some things up. Now my process is to take these out of Unity once I get them in, and then take them into Substance Painter, and then alter the textures, and then bring them back in. So I wanted to take you through that process, so let's check it out. Now in this case, I've got a vase that I brought in from some external source. And regardless of where you get your assets, whether it's Sketchfab or CG Trader or a whole bunch of places you can get them, right? But yeah, Unity Asset Store, right? Regardless of where you get them, once in a while we want to go ahead and change it. Now this guy has already had the material extracted. I put that in a subfolder here, and then the textures here have already been applied to that material over there. But what I like to use personally is I like to use Substance Painter for creating or even updating existing textures. Now you could go ahead and take these textures into some other resource like Photoshop or something like that, but I want to show you how to use Substance Painter with existing texture files. Now here in Substance Painter, I'm going to start a new file. I'm going to use the PBR in this case. Where am I at? PBR, Metal Roughness, Alpha Blend. I'm going to bring in that FBX, the vase itself. It's already UV unwrapped, and let's just bring that guy in. Now, of course, my textures aren't here, so what do I need to do? I need to bring the textures into this project. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to import resources, add these resources, open up my PNG file. So I'm going to bring all of these textures in. Obviously, I want to exclude the meta files. Normal. I've got normal DirectX and normal PNG, so I'm just going to bring in the normal and roughness, and that should be it. That should be all of my PNG files. So that's all my textures. I can multiple select these guys, bring these in as textures, and down here, instead of bringing them into my library, I only want to bring them into this particular project. Import them, and now I see them over here. So I'm going to delete this layer, and I'm going to create, well, I better not skip the import part, I'm sorry, the bake textures part. I'm actually going to add ambient occlusion, height, roughness, opacity. I don't really need emissive, and I don't really need opacity, but let's just go from there. Alright, I'm going to bake these out. Don't need ID. I'll go with 1K, and I think I'm use low poly, it's high poly, and I'm good to go. Alright, so I'm gonna bake those, and since I haven't applied my textures yet, I'm still seeing just this kind of clay material, and I'm gonna create a fill layer. In this fill layer, I have the base color, height, rough, metal. I'm going to go ahead and keep all of those except for opacity. I don't really need opacity here. And now I can take these textures and I can drag these to these individual channels. So my height, where's my height? Well, gotta scroll down for that guy. My metal, my, what's this? My AO. So that's my ambient occlusion, my roughness, and then my normal. So now this vase actually looks pretty much like it did before. Now if you've changed the scale before. Now you may find some repetition in the texture. Make sure that your scale is set to 1 here. I had mine set to 3 for some reason, and so it looked all funky until I figured out I need to set my scale back to 1. So I basically have this as I had it in Unity with the existing textures that I already had. So at this point I could do something like, it's already dirty, but let's just say I wanted to add a dirt layer to it. So I'm going to go ahead and create a dirt layer here. I'm going to make that base color, let's say something a little bit more brownish. We'll go with that. Change my roughness way up, no metal, and let's just leave it at that right there. So with this guy, I'm going to put a black mask on it, add a generator. So the black mask, of course, hides what I just did, so that brown color to it. But now if I put a generator on the black mask and then do a dirt generator on top of that, now I've got an extra layer of dirt if I wanted to make this a little bit more grungy. But you can do whatever you want, anything that you would normally do within Substance Painter. I could put another paint layer on within this black mask and use a paintbrush and paint more dirt onto here. But at this point, you know, maybe I've got pretty much what I want, and I'm good to go. I like this. This is a nice change from the textures that I had when I first acquired the asset. And that's it. Once I'm happy with the changes, then I'm going to take these new textures, now that I've made some changes to it, and go ahead and export those like I would with any other project. So I'm going to export textures, pick my location, which is going to be in that same folder that my existing textures are in. And if there's duplicates, then I'll deal with that. Not sure what's going on with my path there, but okay, weird. Let's see if this works. Pick the right setup, the output template, which should include I don't know why this works this way, but this is so weird. You have to pick it in 2 places. Has the channels that I want, the texture setups that I want, the naming conventions that I want, and then go ahead and export. So I should expect the albedo transparency, metal smoothness, AO, and normal. So I'm going to go ahead and export those. Now I go back over to Unity and I see that using my naming convention compared to what it was, I've got a different set of textures here. So I'm going to go ahead and now drag these new ones to my channel. You can already see the dirt is applied. Now I can do the normal, and well, I mean that's pretty much it. So you can see how you go through this process, and if I'm happy with those new textures, then I can go ahead and delete the old ones. Guys, thanks for watching. I hope this was helpful. If you have any comments or suggestions for other tutorials you'd like to see, please leave them down below, and keep an eye out for Angels Cove. Cheers.